So if you've ever played around with an AI agent, you know how amazing they can be. But, and this is a big but, you've probably hit that one super frustrating wall, right? The one where they just can't remember a thing from one moment to the next.
So picture this. You've got your AI coding buddy working hard all day. It's setting up your whole project, pulling down dependencies, churning out all that boilerplate code. You call it a day, feeling pretty good. You come back the next morning ready to pick up where you left off, and poof, it's all gone. The agent's just staring at you with a blank slate. It has zero memory of anything it did yesterday. You gotta start from scratch. Sound painful? Yeah, it really is.
Well, that pain you're feeling, that's the default for most AI agents. They live in what's called an ephemeral session. That's just a fancy way of saying that the moment you stop, the whole environment gets wiped clean. All that hard work just disappears. It's kind of like shaking an Etch-a-Sketch, right? All gone. What we really want, what we need, is a persistent session, one where the agent's work sticks around, ready for you whenever you are. And that right there, that's what we're calling the agent's amnesia problem. Seriously, this temporary, forgetful nature of compute, it's a huge blocker when you're trying to do any real, meaningful work. I mean, think about it. Today's agents are so much more than just simple chatbots. They're deep in our workflows. They're writing code, they're juggling complex file systems, they're installing packages. All that stuff creates what we call a state, basically a digital workspace. And having to rebuild that workspace from zero every single time, it's just a colossal waste of time, money, and frankly, your patience. But what if we could fix it? What if we could cure this amnesia? Well, that's exactly what we're talking about today. The new persistent memory feature in the AgentCore runtime is here to do just that. It's the solution we've been waiting for, the thing that finally gives our agents a real working memory. Okay, so what is this thing really? In a nutshell, it's a fully managed, persistent file system. The easiest way to think about it is like giving your agent its own personal, dedicated hard drive. A hard drive that automatically saves everything it's working on so that nothing gets lost when you log off. Let's dig into the key features here. First up, it's fully service managed. That just means you don't have to lift a finger for the backend stuff. AWS takes care of it all. Next, the data is transparently replicated. As your agent is working, everything is being saved to durable storage behind the scenes. You don't even see it happening. And maybe most importantly, the storage is isolated. This is huge. It means every single one of your agent sessions gets its own private, secure little sandbox to work in. Okay, that all sounds great, but how does it actually work? Like, what's happening under the hood? It's actually pretty simple. Let's just walk through the lifecycle of a session real quick. So, you kick off a session for the very first time. The agent gets a brand new, squeaky clean directory to play in. Then, as it starts working, creating files, making folders, all that data is quietly being copied over to permanent storage in the background. Now, when you stop the session, the computer part shuts down, but not before it makes one last check to make sure every last bit of data is saved. And then, here's the magic. The next time you resume that session, a new computer spins up and boom, the agent's entire file system is right there, just like you left it. Okay, theory is one thing, but how do you actually turn this on and start using it? Let's get practical. You are gonna love how simple this is. Seriously, turning this on is almost laughably easy. It's literally just one parameter. When you're creating or updating your agent runtime, you just add this -file system configurations flag, tell it where to mount the storage for the agent, and that's it. You're done. It is that simple. Okay, so once that's enabled, there's just one more tiny thing. Every time you start up the agent, you just give it a unique session ID. Think of that ID as the key to the agent's memory. It's how the system knows exactly which saved workspace to load up for you. Let's put this into a real-world context. Imagine it's 9 a.m. You fire up your agent with, let's say, session-001. It gets to work building out a project. Then it's 5 p.m., time to clock out. You stop the session. The compute goes to sleep, but that entire workspace, it's saved and sound. The next morning, you come in, start up session-001 again, and everything is instantly there. All the files, all the dependencies, the agent just picks up right where it left off. No fuss, no wasted time. So what's the bottom line here? What's the big payoff? What can you do now that you couldn't do before? Oh, this opens up a ton of powerful new possibilities. For developers, you can now have these huge multi-day coding sessions where the agent just keeps iterating. For data scientists, you can run these super long analyses, and all your intermediate results get saved automatically, like checkpoints in a video game. But honestly, the sky's the limit. Think about scientific simulations or creative AI projects that build on themselves over time. It's basically a permanent scratchpad for any complex job you can throw at it. You know, there's a line in the documentation that just nails it. It says, no reinstalling packages, no regenerating boilerplate, no warm-up. That's it, right there. You get to skip all the boring setup and jump straight to the actual valuable work. Every single time.
All right, now with any cool new tech, there is always a little bit of fine print, right? So let's quickly cover a few key details you'll want to keep in mind.
The great news is that this file system supports all the standard stuff, what's called POSIX operations. In plain English, that means all your favorite command line tools. Git, npm, pip, you name it, they're all going to work just fine, exactly like you'd expect. Now, there are a few obscure, less common things like hard links that aren't supported, but for 99% of what you'll be doing, you're totally covered.
And one last thing, how long does this memory stick around? There are basically 3 rules. The data gets wiped if a session is inactive for 14 days, if you decide to update the agent's runtime version to a new one, or, of course, if you manually delete the whole runtime yourself. This just helps keep everything clean and manageable. So that brings us to the big, exciting final question. Now that we remove this huge barrier, now that agents don't have amnesia anymore, what are you going to build? What kinds of complex, long-term projects are now possible? A coding partner that grows with your project? A research assistant that remembers everything you've explored? The possibilities are wide open now. What can you create with an agent that never, ever forgets?